Okay, we got some larger time frame closes that are suggesting a continuation to the upside. September put contracts are starting to exit, and it looks like we have some psychological formations that can lead price to an upside. That doesn't mean full port entry, however. Let's dive into the charts to better understand the probabilities of price in the near term. Welcome back to the channel on this sunny Sunday. This is ARCa, and let's dive into AMC. Let's kill 'em, team. What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Please do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, do everything necessary to get this thing to live long, thrive, and survive. Let's go ahead and take a look at AMC. We got plenty of signals to talk about here on the price action, but why don't we go ahead and get this thing started just like we did for GME on the options side of things, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at AMC here. We're going to go ahead and open up with the summary and take a look at this here. The max pain for AMC is sitting at $5. We are just under that $5 mark right now, sitting at $4.90 post market. And let's go ahead and now take a look at a few things here that could give us some pretty good information for the near term, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at our sentiment here, and you can go ahead and take a look that our bullish sentiment is absolutely taking over massively right here, right? So you can see that we have 90,000 calls to it's a ratio of 90,000 to 6,800. Those are immense numbers, right? So let's go ahead and now take a look at the open interest and see what we have here in the term, right? So in a term, it looks like we have massive bullish strength coming in for September 20th expiries, right? That's a number of 337,500 to 90,840, right? And also here, take a look at the amount of call interest on the January 17th 2025 contracts. That has 390,267 to 82,300 calls. That is just absolutely amazing. And I will say that this can be seen a little bit closer using the heat map. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the expiries here. These are your January 17th, 2025 calls on this side, puts on this side, and these are your strikes on the left-hand side, right? So this is a good way for us to observe, your open interest, right, on each strike. So go ahead and take a look at this. At $27, we have 114,155 calls to 0 puts. And even at the 25 strike, January, 2025, 9,600 calls to 3. 42,000 at $20 strike to 0, 30,700 to 0. We have 21,400 to 20 at the $10 strike. Guys, there's something going on here. And also, just like we were saying, right, for the September 20th expiries, take a look at this here. At the $6 strike, 36,400 to 1,000. We have at the $7 strike, 26,100 to 1,000. Look at these numbers. It starts to get really ridiculous, right? This is 25,000 to 229. We have 7,300 at the $13 strike to 1. That $25,000 was a $10 strike, by the way, if I didn't say it. 12,000, almost 200 here to 49 at the $11 strike. This has got to be the most ridiculous one here. $22 strike AMC, 67,549 to 1 put. And check that out. This is your $20 strike with 20,379 to literally 0 puts. Guys, there are some serious bets to the upside here. And if you take a look at the volume, the open interest change, then you'll go ahead and notice this on the matrix with this the heat map on, that it looks like we have now exiting 1,000. This is fresh. 1,627 puts have exited the market for the September 20th expiries, right? And it looks like more and more people are buying the $5 strikes. It looks like we added more to the $5.50 strikes. We added more to the $10 strikes, of course, to the $6 strikes. And it looks like for the 18th of October, there is a larger put to call ratio here, 2012 to about 95. And I have a feeling that's only because we have the Fed, right? We're going to potentially get a rate hike there, or a rate cut. Sorry, we may get that pivot, and markets may actually correct temporarily, which actually makes me believe that in the near term, price action for the overall market may be headed towards the upside. And to tell you the truth, the IWM pushing towards the upside can absolutely benefit AMC, and the broader markets, S&P, NASDAQ, could actually encourage GME's upside continuation, right? So let's go ahead and now switch this thing over and take a look at the charts here, right? So I want to go ahead and let you guys know, team, that I definitely will have, and I will be hosting a free seminar tomorrow at 9 a.m. PST. Actually, it's going to be today, Sunday, right? At 9 a.m. Pacific time, right? So go ahead and join me for a Trading View. It's going to be a Trading View training course, right? And it's also going to be with charting, right? To identify pivot points using the tools that I personally use within Trading View and how to open them up and use them, right? So join me as I will be doing this in the Discord, right? The ARCa Bulls Discord. So go ahead and join using the link in the description below, or I will go ahead and add it to your top right of the screen right over here, right? So that's going to end up, for your benefit there. So now, with that said, team, if you can make the decision there to get yourself enrolled for the ArcMastersCourse Beginners Trading Program and Charting, right? Coming up in about 2 weeks. I want to make sure that you guys take advantage of that right away because the seats are starting to fill up, and I'm going to go ahead and promote this tomorrow using the last course for the track, for one of my last tracks, right? So we're about to finish that track up, and we're going to get started with the next track, which is going to be in 2 weeks. So make sure to get the information. The syllabus and the disclaimer will be available to you as soon as you send me an email, and I will just make a difference for your trade, guys. The better investment here is for yourself. All right, so let's go ahead and continue with the charts here because there is a bullish properties here for AMC, and I have something to show you here that has a lot of probability for continuation. So let's just go ahead and take a look at the weekly close, right? So we got this weekly bar closing on AMC. This is what I meant at the introduction, saying that this is not a full port entry, however, right? Let's go ahead and observe the charts and see how things happen and how price action will react upon facing some of these critical resistances, right? So I want to just take a look at the post-market close versus the intraday close, right? So $4.98 was your intraday close, and it looks like $4.90 is your post-market close, right? So that's good information to know because we're already drawing down. Now, it's important to know as well because you can see here that the SMA 5 on the weekly time frame is currently sitting, let's see. Let's get rid of price here because I would love to see where that SMA 5 is presently. Oh, it's at 497. We can see it right up here on the top left, right? So 497 is where that SMA 5 is. That means that we're quite literally using the resistance of the SMA 10 and the SMA 5 on a weekly time frame. That paired with the weekly prior bars, 50% retrace, right? Because this is about 50%, this bar here. Yeah. That would be, we would be set to pull back for a little bit here. And that doesn't mean that it's over. It just means that it typically decompresses. The candle's prior bar, this is going to be our prior bar here, right? So it typically decompresses 50% of its own range before upside continuation. So if we were to expect a 30 to 50% prior bar retrace, which happens about 60 to 70% of the time, especially on larger term candles, let's identify that potential pullback. So right away, I can actually see a zone for us to observe, right? So I want to just make sure that we use the higher probability retraces, right? I'm talking about targets that are completely relevant to each other, right? So let's go ahead and get into a more granular level here and start observing. Well, actually, first of all, let's measure that 50% of the pullback first, right? So we're going to take a box here and we'll measure it just like this, the entire weekly range of that bar that we just closed, and mark this as the 50% retrace, right? So now we can observe this as the point because we're not going to use the 50% of the bar completely perfect. Price action leads the way. All right, team, this is more of what I teach my students, right? So please make sure to keep your eyes and ears open for this. The 4-day time frame, as you can see here, closed as well, and it's also in the same range that the weekly time frame closed at, right? So now the 5-day time frame still has 3 days and 12 hours to go, right? So this means that as the 5-day closes or it approaches its close, it's going to start retracing to its 50%. Naturally happens. Now that's already it's already pretty well known that would be the case here. So let's go ahead and now take a look at the buy daily close. The buy daily close is telling us that we would have a 50% retrace at about this area here, very confluent to the weekly retrace. What about that 4-day? It was the same thing, right? The 3-day time frame is also closed, and that is telling us that it's exactly the same range as the buy daily 50% retrace. So now we have confluence within the 3-day, buy daily, the 4-day, and the weekly. Now, the most important one, of course, it would be your daily time frame. What is that looking like? Okay, so daily time frame exactly the same as the buy daily and 3-day, and that's telling you that it's there again, 481, right? So for some reason, that 481 is rhyming a lot, right? So let's just go ahead and take a look at some critical moving averages here to see if we have anything with confluence within the within the prior bar pullbacks, right? So 3-hour time frame, I don't really see anything there. 4-hour time frame, sure, we have an SMA 50 located here. Not bad. Let's take a look at other signals to see if we have some moving averages located closer to that price, right? So in fact, we kind of do. That would be $4.88 of this SMA 5 on a monthly time frame. And by the way, that monthly time frame is now going to retrace. Why? Because we just got the 50% pullback of that prior month that we just opened just a few days ago, right? The bi-monthly also, you guys, this right here, I do expect, since we're hitting the resistance of this bar here, likely for us to come and pull back, right? Get us a little bit of a pullback here, and then have the price action continue towards the bi-monthly's 50% retrace, right? So that would be located right up here. That's going to be around the 504 mark, right? So we still have some upside to go on that bi-monthly time frame. Now, let's see volatility versus momentum here on a bi-monthly time. Is that still suggesting some pretty bullish criteria? In fact, it is. And not only bullish criteria, but also very much expanding towards the upside with an upside bias, and not just any regular upside bias. This stochastic momentum indicator is actually reversing from a historic low. AMC has never been this low, as you can see here, right, throughout its entire trading history. It's never been this low. And actually, let's see what happened the last time that it was that low. I mean, at least these times, right? Like, what did price action do around those moments? So guess what? Right here, look at the date. January 2021. That's the last time we were around this area, right? We were starting to get those accumulation signals. So we have one. So we have this one, and then a second one, right? So it kind of reminds me of what's happening here. We have this one signal for the upside and then another signal for the upside. And it looks like we may actually get this continuation to the upside here. But I just, that was your initial run to $25, I believe, from nothing, right? And then the next price action came down to around $9, $12, $13, $15, and then $15 to that $72 was next. So very, very curious price action here, because as you can see, this whole iteration was bottomed at January 21, following into May, June, July. And you guys know that June, that was your top of the price action right over here, right? So we are very much retracing from an even lower area from there with an upside pivot. There could be a very powerful move here for AMC, and it's looking pretty damn promising. So heads up on this. No full ports just yet, team. Please be very careful. And let's go ahead and go over that criteria for a potential entry zone, right? I want to know where this thing could pull back and give us the higher probabilities for pullback. Wow. Okay. This is an interesting signal here. Check this out. Actually, the 4-hour time frame, many of my master students know this to be one of my minimum time frames, right? Take a look at volatility here, completely spiking up from the critical zone of under the 15%. That has moving average and volatility pivoted towards the upside, spiking. And we also have an upside bias entering the bullish control zone on a 4-hour time frame. Let's see the 6-hour. 6-hour time frame breaking out of critical volatility expansion with upside bias in the bullish control zone. 8-hour time frame has an upside bias, and we're starting to expand to break above that 15 percentile. This is looking stupid big. And now check it out with this 12-hour time frame. The 12-hour time frame is already breaking above that 15%. We have a massive upside pivot on that stochastic momentum entering the bullish control zone here at any moment. The daily time frame is about to fire off a signal as well. Take a look at this. This was your prior bar that gave us this read. The stochastic momentum indicator isn't even reflecting this candle's upside yet. Another very curious thing that I'm noticing here, guys. In fact, one of my master students is back testing the daily time frame. So we're going to let Dea do that, right? And I'm going to see what his results are. And we're going to go ahead and put those targets in. But take a look at this. Daily time frame, SMA 100 bounce, right? Perfectly bounced from that SMA 100 moving average. Take a look at the 12-hour, bouncing perfectly from the SMA 200 here, being guided towards that upside, with that upside pivot. 8-hour time frame, bouncing off of that SMA 200 too. So there is an absolute respect here from this major moving average. We may have found the floor already, guys. So this is looking pretty damn good. Okay, these are some of the signals that I was trying to find here. For the immediate short or for whatever time frame, right? Interestingly enough, we're about to get it looks like we're about to get a golden cross here on a 30-minute time frame. That's going to be the cascading effect, right? That's going to be there it is. SMA 20, SMA 200, and the SMA 50 creating the golden cross. Looks like has some confluence with that 479. It's located at 478. So this is your confluence here. Probably come into back test your SMA 200 and SMA 50 potential cross. Bounce out of this and continue. Look at our support zones already within the retraces of the days, right? Very nice. Hourly time frame. Yeah, this is looking okay, team. It's looking not bad. The moving averages are now starting to pivot towards the upside, and that gives us a higher probability here of support when price action does retrace, right? Very, very, very impressive price here, and I do think that we are set for creating just a little bit of a pullback here, reload, and get this thing to continue to the upside. Now, just like GME, I'm going to go ahead and display it to you here with a very, very, very huge grain of salt, right? But there is a possibility here that we are building within an immediate short term, right? 4-hour time frame. This could be built over the next 2 or 3 days. There could be this short-term downside, right? We could be spiking, but within all that spike here and testing of the resistance before we officially break out, we could be in the process of building an inverse head and shoulders, right? So that formation would indicate that we would have, this drop as the first shoulder, right? We have the head down here. We have that resistance grab. We come back down and test the area that we just said that we would test. And then we would have our breakout strategy based on an inverse head and shoulders. And we are able to observe our higher probability resistance levels like this. If we were to make a break from this inverse head and shoulders, we can actually see price action reach maybe, remember speculative here, to a top side of around $5.40. That would be massive upside, right? So hold on, honey. And we'll be able to get this thing to really show us what we want, right? What kind of price are we really looking for? And I'm just going to go ahead and just say it out here out loud, coming back to the options contracts to remind you that the 550s have 16,700 open interest to 1,200, and now the $6 have 36,462 to 1,048 on the call side. Guys, this is 100% interesting. It is all rhyming. It is all suggesting a potential continuation to the upside. I want you to consider getting into the master's course so that you can be able to better benefit from this analysis, right? I want to show you exactly how the ARCa Bulls team does it and how we do it together, right? My job here is not to create some type of a monthly thing out of you. I want to be able to show you and teach you and never rely on anyone else for your analysis. Trust only you, right? I want to create a better trader out of you and one that would never rely on an alert system or any other influencer or whoever or hype. That's what I want to do as your mentor, right? So let's go ahead and send that email. Remember, guys, the email here, I'm just going to state it one more time. And I'm going to show you the link here for the TradingView team as well, right? So the TradingView, the ARCa Bulls trading team. And I want to just remind you over that TradingView training course for charting. And we're going to do the course tomorrow, right, is going to be the last week for the Track 5 students, right? So please remember to reach out to me at ArcMastersCourse at gmail.com. And remember that link for the ARCa Bulls team is included in the description below. So please make sure to consider joining right away. And I'll see you there. And remember, it's completely free first for this last course. Okay, I think we're pretty good here. This was a long video. Apologies for that, but we'll go ahead and talk to you very soon. Okay, team. Love y'all. We'll see you. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Ever. I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well. A very, very good rest of your night and or day or weekend. And I will catch you at the bell on Monday. Adios. Oh, yeah.